sometimes when you're writing back and forth, you have a different idea of what that person's like in your mind. And so you have this wonderful image of that person. But when you're in front of that person, all the senses are at play. And so when you meet at a social and when you go up to her and you're talking with her face to face, all of a sudden you'll know within the first couple minutes whether or not there's going to be a connection or not.
Is it more likely to work out a tour instead of letters?
You know, I don't know anyone who had anybody who has gotten married through letters. Oh, I was just told there's one.
Only one.
One. Okay. You have of course, you got to meet them. You know, it's better to meet in person. Of course, the tours are better. You know,
It's important to meet in person, and you can feel you have chemistry or not.
Yeah, if you don't plan on going on a tour, yeah, then that's your only means of communicating. Yes, of course, by all means. But definitely go on the tour. You can watch the videos, you can listen to us, you know, talk about it, and you think you have an idea of what is going on there or what you're going to experience. And I've seen the look on guys' faces, the same guys who have thought the same thing you're thinking, walk into a social and they stop dead because all of a sudden women are now looking at them. You know, now they're the focus of attention. And we're just not used to that here, you know?
Yeah.
Ryan wants to know, say you're writing someone, is it cheaper or better to meet them one-on-one or at a social?
I prefer socials because when you're, it's cheaper. Yeah, it's cheaper when you're writing someone, but it's a lot different when you're meeting the one, or the ladies or the women's, the connections.
Well, yeah, and if you're writing someone, and if your question is it cheaper to meet her at a social or one-on-one, I would say it's better and probably cheaper to meet her at the social. And the reason for that is that sometimes when you're writing back and forth, you have a different idea of what that person's like. You build up an idea of what that person's like in your mind. And so you have this wonderful image of that person. But when you're in front of that person, all the senses are at play, right? And so when you meet at a social, there's less pressure on you because you're speed dating, you're getting to meet. And when you go up to her and you're talking with her face to face, all of a sudden you'll know within the first couple minutes whether or not there's going to be a connection or not. And if not, you just move on. But if there is, it's great. You set up the individual date. But if you're on an individual date and 5 minutes into it, there's no connection, even though the letters were good, but there's no connection now you're stuck on this date for the next hour and a half. And it's like, oh my God, you know, this is not good. So the socials are a great way of screening both for you and for her. You screen each other to realize, yes, we do want to go out on a date. That's what Tanya and I did. After 10 bottles of champagne, she agreed to go on a date with me, but that's what we did at that social. We screened each other, and that's what you want to try and do. All right, so yes, go to the social, meet her, and then see what happens.
That's best.
Please elaborate why you do not want men to write letters, or why you think it's not the best way to find a woman. Here we go again.
Well, because you should, in many cases, you're shooting yourself in the foot by writing. I mean, it's okay to write maybe a couple letters. You know, just say, hi, I'm such and such. I'm gonna be in your city in 3 weeks. You know, are you available? I'd like to meet you. That's fine. Writing to someone for, you know, for half a year or etc., that's counterproductive because you're gonna spend all this money on correspondence, which you could use for the trip to Ukraine or whatever country you go in. Because again, it's not particularly cheap, so you need airfare, you need hotel, you need, you know, all those stuff, spending money. So save it. You would need those money for follow-up trips. So instead of trying to write to a lot of different people, you cannot get to know everyone over correspondence because, yeah, you know, everybody's nice and, you know, and you start, problem is you start creating the image in your head of this ideal person. You start somewhat fall in love. You can pick one or two girls, start falling in love because in your mind they're just perfect. And then you go there, you meet them in person, and it just doesn't click. You look, you know, you sit across the table from each other. She looks at you, you know, just and it doesn't click. You know, not quite what you imagined because just it's about chemistry. It's about connection. You know, it's just. I'm sure you've used domestic dating websites. I mean, how many of you guys went on dates from Match.com, eHarmony, Tinder, whatever? I mean, how many of those dates turn out to be disappointing? No matter how much you correspond with someone, you will never get to know someone over correspondence. It will never guarantee that this person will be, you know, your life partner. So correspondence is a good tool to get to know someone just a little bit, to just spark initial interest. That's it. You don't really need to go further than that.
Right, so what's the most important element of a strong relationship? It's chemistry. Of course, you cannot do nothing without that. That's just the most important thing. So how in the letters you can feel that? You think you feel it and then you come to see her and nothing. You waste your time, you waste your money. You can save all that money to go and see her. So it's much better. It's important thing to see her, and a girl would like to see her instead of writing letters back and forth.
Exactly.
Check out our website at. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Then click on the notice bell to get notified every time we add something new.